call the meeting to order and we'll go to B, Pledge of Allegiance. Joe. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jack and I have the same idea.
Yeah. Okay, public comment, anything on, anyone online?
You guys don't need to come in shorts.
We've got no hands raised, but one attendee online.
Okay.
Give them a moment if they want to raise their hand, if they want to speak.
Okay, nothing.
I think we're
All
all
right. D1, I need a motion to approve the minutes from June 11th.
So moved.
Second. Third.
Okay,
Let's jump right in.
any corrections, anything? Nothing. Okay, all those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Correspondence, Kat, anything?
No correspondence.
Okay, reports, F1, chair report, I have nothing new to report at this time. Town council, anything new, Joe?
We are on our summer hiatus, so nothing new to report.
Okay, Mr. Fagan's not here, FHS building, anything, Kat, maybe?
Ribbon cutting will be August 26th at 5 p.m. followed by an open house at 5:45 to 8. So
August 26th,
August 26th.
that's exciting.
It's
So
so exciting.
under a month to go. We're very excited.
Did the high school start to come down?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
I was walking back there. I got kicked out.
really? Did you
Yes,
tell them
the
who you
site
were?
is closed.
Did I tell them who I was? No, the gate was open and I thought I'll just keep walking
Yeah,
down.
just
to
keep
the
on
front door,
scrolling.
and
Okay,
you guys were like,
the architect's report, how do we want to handle that with Chris right now, Kat?
I think like we did
Yeah.
for the site bid,
Okay.
kind of just high level
Alright.
walkthrough,
Okay,
right?
all right.
That's under new business. Do you want me to wait till then?
Well, that's what I
Oh,
was
yeah.
asking.
Okay, yeah, just a brief update on a few items. Then we received wage rates for this bid portion of the project. And we are finalizing all of our responses to the commissioning agent and third-party reviewer. Everything has been addressed in the documents and we'll be sending those back out. If not tomorrow, the day after for them. And then it's just a matter of coordinating with the town, after your approval, of course, on the front end specs and all the dates for the pre-bid walkthrough and items like that before we put anything out to bid.
Okay. Value engineering, I'd like to say we just had a meeting previously to this meeting on some schedule of alternates, and we will go into that in further detail after we get some more bid information in when the project does go out to bid. So nothing very conclusive coming out of that, but just potential alternates that we might have once we get the bids in the future. Okay, 6, communication subcommittee, anything, don't we have something coming out, Kat?
So there's actually a town newsletter coming
Yep.
that should hit mailboxes next week. It's just a general update about what's been going on at this committee level. But other than that, I think we'll regroup after, the bids are approved and we kind of have an update.
We'll have a little more substance, I
Yes.
think. I mean,
Yeah.
you want to send something out that gives them a little
Exactly.
information.
so just briefly, what are you putting in the town newsletter?
It kind of just talks about how we completed the documents. We've been going out to bid. We separated the site work bid from the renovation bid. So kind of just like a
Just
general
reference.
update
Okay,
of what's been happening the last few months.
perfect.
Nothing new on interior design. Professional partner, nothing new with that, correct? Professional partnerships?
No.
All right, and the financial report.
So at your
Yeah.
places, there's just an updated invoice tracker, which is just recording all of the invoices that are approved.
Yes,
So
here.
Silver Petrozellis is updated, IES is updated, and Colliers, and some of these invoices are on approval on the agenda today.
Okay.
This is all tracking what it should be. In other words, there's nothing
Yeah.
that we need
Yeah.
to discuss in terms of.
No surprises, right on schedule.
Okay, so new business, this is where we're gonna approve a bunch of stuff. G1, I just need motions.
I'll
Make
make
a-
them, oh,
So it's okay.
do you want?
Make a motion to approve new business for item G1.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion on this line item? Okay, all those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. I need a motion.
Make a
for-
motion for agenda item G2 to approve the attached invoice Silver Petroselli 15,038.25.
Second,
Any discussion?
I'll move it
Okay,
or second it, whatever you need there.
any discussion?
that's right.
Okay, all those state by saying aye if they approve.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, G3,
Make a motion to approve the attached invoice for Colliers Engineering and Design, the amount of 11,182.50.
second. Okay, any discussion? All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes. G4, Joe.
To approve the attached invoice Colliers Engineering Design, the amount of 5,040.00.
Need a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. G5, Joe, please.
Make a motion to award the contract for site work to J.I. Paluccio for the amount of 1,325,000.
Second? Is there a second?
I'll second it. I'd like to have some discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Dan,
Let's go for it.
I can just set up
Yep.
what happened. So if you look in the agenda, there is a bid tally sheet. Ipaluccio was the lowest bidder, but it did come in over our cost estimate. It
Yep.
is about $125,000 over. After review by town staff and Silver Petroselli, we are recommending awarding to the site work bid and keeping it separate. This is the same contractor that is working on the high school project. So even though the bid is over, if you see the other totals, there are some efficiencies in keeping the same contractor. So they were the lowest bid and it looks like the going rate is actually much higher.
Much higher.
So our recommendation is to keep it separate and approve this award.
I'm just curious if there was a conversation with them about the PEC that was over.
Yes, Russ has had some conversations.
Sorry, what did you say?
I was just wondering if there was conversation with them that it was over and would they bring it down any? I'm
Oh,
assuming you had
we've
that
been in-
conversation.
yeah, we've been talking with a lot where we can save and make some changes and do things on the site. We're not gonna save $300,000 by any means.
Yeah.
But I've been talking to her, like, we're using flagpoles. We're gonna provide the old lights for the parking lot. Things like that. We're looking at detail on the storm drainage, if we can do any savings there with the stone bedding, things like that. We're gonna sit down and evaluate this as we approve this, and she's really busy. Chris Nigro is the superintendent for Ipaluccio, and she's really like crazy right now. And I said, let's get through this meeting, and if it gets approved, we'll sit down at some point in the next week or so and really start looking at what we can save on. But there will be some cost savings coming.
Thank you.
so there's a real possibility that after they're done with the the majority of their work at the high school, when that's all completed, then they can probably potentially see some savings out of this bid.
Correct.
Okay, that's encouraging. Dan, anything?
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna ask, but that makes some sense and there's some economies of scale, I think, in terms of what they're doing. So I think that's good.
No, and it's like just from the coordination issue, having, you know, now it's one big site for Ipaluccio, where I don't have to hold someone's hand to say, nope, you can't do that, or how are we gonna work that all out? It really is a relief of a headache.
Oh, good.
So there is, to be
Then that's
perfectly
good.
honest with you, so there is some cost to that. It is. Now she's looked at the site as a whole Instead of, okay, I gotta work with somebody else and everything's gonna be really tight. And now it's basically, she's got carte blanche over the whole site
'Cause she knows.
at her schedule and
Right.
can wrap everything up in a more efficient manner.
That's great.
It's gonna be good.
Good.
Jack, anything?
No, basically, I'm just noting that there's a pretty wide difference between the upper and the lower, like 250,000 almost, I think.
Yeah.
My math is correct. So I think we are getting some efficiency from using the same person, so, or same contractor, so I think it probably makes sense. And the other question was, originally this was gonna be part of the main bid package, so, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Oh, it went on. So I think that, that will be coming out of our other budget. That this will not be in the main to be done budget of the building. So the site work is separate.
Correct. And
Yes.
our approach in terms of the documents is, yeah, we extracted all the drawings and specifications for the site work. But our recommendation for the upcoming bid is to include those as an attachment in the RFP that you put out for the next package. Only. So, because there's going to be coordination between iPaluccio and the 1928 contractor where the site and the building meet. So we're going to include
Yeah.
everything, but just for reference only.
I think this makes sense that they will work with all the contractors.
Yep.
That's good.
When I saw that they were the high school group, I was wondering if that was helpful. I would
Absolutely.
assume. So we
Absolutely
do have to look at that as one
correct.
piece of
Because,
it.
because there's a lot of work, just so everyone understands. There's a lot of work going on around the 28 building that is a part, it's a part of the high school building, such as sewer lateral, sewer work, water work, gas work, electrical work. It's all going into the work limit of the 1928 building because
Yeah.
that project, we had those utilities, they have to provide them back.
Yeah.
So they're. Our cost savings is a lot of stuff that for our building is being borne by the high school project because we already have those utilities. So we're made that project replace everything, everything's getting updated to today's standards on that project's cost.
Yeah.
Not that I'm, trying to, it's just how it happened to work out. We're keeping the building, all that was already included in the project. So instead of separating it out, now they are into it instead of saying, oh, well, now that you put this trench within our project limits and it settles, now I get you'd be pointing the finger at you, the contractor for the high school, for the old, it just, everything becomes our own business.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, that's great.
Just from that standpoint alone, not being able to point the finger at another, because then everyone's gonna go, what, that was them, that wasn't me,
Yeah,
and been down that road how many times, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're doing an addition, exactly, everyone's pointing a finger, you drove over the top, so I had to get there, but you put it down too early. All this stuff comes into play,
well, that's
so
good.
it really helps out with that kind of a coordination issue.
Glad it
Because
was checked out.
our contractor could say, I'm coming in, I'm gonna get delayed because your contractor is still doing work for that project. Because she's got 5 crews working right now in all different stages and all over the place, because they're looking to start paving on Friday, coming across the front of the high school, the new high school between the 900 and that area. So there's too many things involved to be able to say, okay, you can have this area.
Yeah.
To a new contractor.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, it's
So
really,
those
we're
of
very
us who
fortunate that way.
Get it in the small picture.
Yeah, and
That's
to
great.
be honest with you, we worked with iPaluccio. They did the rails to trails from Red Oak Hill to the Plainville Town line.
Mm.
They were very good. Chris is a very receptive person. She always looking for ways to save money. Up here at the high school, it's not a barter system, but she's like, I'll just do that. And hey, I'm gonna need something here. We gotta do a change order here. No problem. And it's not like she's getting a year's salary on everybody, on every change order.
Right.
It is a true and fair price on what she's given us.
Well, it's so important to work with someone who's willing to work with you, so
Oh, it's very easy.
I'll make this motion on G5 then.
Go ahead.
Motion to award the contract site to Jay, say that name again,
Iapaluccio.
in the amount of 1,320.
Lucio.
Second it up.
There
I
you
don't know how
go.
to say that. I've never had that number that big.
Okay,
25, sorry, I was thinking.
any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
G6, make a motion to approve the final plans and project manuals as prepared for bidding for renovation.
Okay, this is Chris. That was that 400-page email.
Was it only 400?
Or 462, I think, to be
Oh, I
precise.
started to print it and then I was like, whoa, stop.
Are they all top? Yeah.
Huh?
Second.
I need a second on that.
Second,
There you go.
Okay, now we'll go,
Discuss it on page 376.
pardon?
You read the whole document, right?
Oh, yeah.
Page 376.
I was reading all the, the size stones and for the sewer system and all that.
Appreciate that.
Excellent.
So yes, these are the bid drawings and specifications. It's 2 volumes of drawings. I think it's around 240 pages total, maybe, and then 3 volumes of technical specifications. So it's a lot of paper.
There's a lot of paper.
Happy to go in as much or as little detail as you want, but general drawings, code information. That's all what I'm flipping through now. Hazardous material abatement documents. And everything in these drawings is backed up by those technical specifications. So if it's in the drawings and it says new EPDM roofing, the specifications will tell you what the thickness of the roofing is, how it's supposed to be installed, the manufacturers that are approved as a basis of design or substitutions. So then we get into structural drawings. I'm going to start going fast because there are a lot. All the architecturals are in this first volume. So that's floor plans, reflected ceiling plans. What we're looking at now are floor finish plans to show the different floor patterns and materials. The roof plan. These are the reflected ceiling plans, which show the ceiling heights, the ceiling materials, the layout of the grid, like this, where the lights and the diffusers are all coordinated for mechanicals, sprinkler heads, etc. And then we get into exterior elevations, so everything that's being done on the outside of the building. Details for our reconstructed side entrances, building sections, which would then lead into wall sections. And then enlarged plans for stairs and ramps and details associated with that, elevator sections and details. Then we get into plan details, which are details if you were to, cut a section horizontally and look down at specific elements in the building, how we're treating those. And then these are section details. So looking at, how do we treat the top of the wall condition, window openings, where the wall meets the foundation, etc. And then some restoration details are included in here as well for the cupola and other exterior elements, all of the window types and the details associated with the window replacements. Interior elevations for toilet rooms, multi-purpose space, really anything that has distinct or differing materials on the walls where we need to show it in an elevation to call out those different materials. Also where you have casework, base cabinet, upper cabinets, tack boards, wall boards, and then we get into all the details for the cabinets. door schedules, which call out all the doors, the types, what the materials are, the hardware, signage schedules, and the finish schedule for all the rooms. So that was just architectural, structural, and hazardous material abatement. Less interesting, of course.
So to
All-
say that everything that a contractor needs to cost out is are in these volumes of bid
Correct.
documents,
Yep.
everything.
Yep, and volume 2 is fire protection, plumbing, mechanical, electrical technology.
Yeah, so every volume has a specialty,
Yeah.
HVAC, fire protection.
And then the bid manual, we're gonna coordinate the front end with the town to pick up all the dates for when there would be the contractor pre-bid walkthrough, when RFIs are due, when the bid opening it will take place and where it will take place, as well as get purchasing and finances final review and approval of all the front end documents to make sure we're in compliance with Farmington regulations. It's essentially the same as we did for the site package.
Right.
So we've gone through most of that process. It's really changing a lot of the dates in that manual. But then this is 3 volumes of technical specs that back up everything that's within the drawings to tell you materials, how to put it together, manufacturers, et cetera.
Okay, and just for the dates, August 2nd, we plan on sending the package out the bid package out. And August 16th is the walkthrough for all the contractors who are interested. And bidding on the project. September 10th will be the bid opening. And September 17th, this committee will award the bid. So that's the timeline. Which is actually pretty fast from the bid going out on August 2nd to bid opening on August 10th. That's fast.
September 10th.
Or September, yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
month and a week or so.
Yeah, and there is attached there a full calendar.
yep.
So you can kind of see how everything's working out, but Chris, that kind of month timeline would be like a typical timeline for the project.
Yeah,
of this
I would
size.
say most
Seems
projects is a 4-week bid period.
Yep,
Contractors will often ask for an extension on a project of this size. So we're giving them more than 4 weeks. It should be ample time.
that's amazing, quite frankly, but okay, if that's the norm, we'll do it.
Well, yeah, we don't want it to be out there too long, but we
Right.
we want everyone to have ample time to review the documents and get real numbers rather than if you don't give them enough time,
Right.
they end up throwing numbers at it that
Bigger.
Bigger.
are inflated because they're protecting themselves.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Any more questions on this?
Is this something that comes to us in between the 10th and the 17th?
So we'll have
To award it?
we'll have the bid opening on the 10th, and what happens then is like the site work, we will look at who the lowest bidder is. You also want to qualify them and make sure the numbers that they're giving are matching the specifications that we've outlined.
Sure.
So that does take a little bit of time, especially with the project of this size. And then working with Silver Petrozelli and town staff, we will make a recommendation to the committee
Okay,
for an award. We're happy to share the bid results once they come in.
Right.
If there is interest to receive that, just so you kind of see the numbers, but there is behind the scenes work that'll need to take place to qualify those bids.
okay. I was just gonna say that's quick. We have to go through stuff. Well, showing us the same way you showed for that site work would be, you guys come up with
Exactly.
it and then just show us what.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to make sure that what the numbers you're seeing on paper, they'll go through everything and be like, oh, this number seems off. Let's make sure.
Yeah.
It's according to the specs that are
Yeah,
outlined.
sounds good.
Dan, anything?
So, good, all good.
Okay.
Do they generally submit like specs with the bid, or they just refer to your specs, correct?
Refer to our specs. Yeah, they're truly filling out the bid form, which is
Yeah.
their pricing, and then any requirements that are in the front end to show, proof of insurance,
Right.
bid bond, that type of thing, relevant experience. The packets are pretty thick, that you'll get for their bids, but most of it is their backup information such as insurance and bonds and such.
Yeah, and they're not allowed to make substitutions at this point, correct?
So when this goes out to bid, there's an RFI period, which means request for information. And during that period, they can also put in substitution requests that we review and either approve or deny. Most of our spec sections have a basis of design, which is the product we selected specifically, and then it may have two or more equals that are approved manufacturers who make a similar type product that we would accept. So the contractors are free during construction to submit on any of those
Mhm.
companies and products. If they don't put in a substitution request during the bid period, we don't have to accept any substitutions during construction. It's our purview, your purview.
Does the committee come to the walkthrough? Let me pass, but I don't know if.
Geez, I
you
don't
need
know.
us.
It's generally for for people bidding on the project.
Yeah, it's
I don't-
generally the,
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
think we need to be at that.
Perfect.
Okay,
And this going out you've already, I think you said earlier, already gotten the feedback from the people that checked over it and stuff,
Correct.
so good.
okay. All right, all those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Other business, we have one other business that I need to, I'll read. It's for an invoice. I'll just make this motion. For other business, the town did receive an invoice from Innovative Engineering Services yesterday, which did not arrive in time to make it on our agenda. This invoice was printed out and placed in your spots and was blah, blah, blah in the financial report. Can I ask for a motion, or I'll make the motion. Can I ask for a motion to approve the invoice from Innovative Engineering Services for $437.46?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Tell me again what that's for.
Innovative Engineering Services, this is.
they're our commissioning agent. They've been doing some work for us, but they just missed the agenda for this invoice
I
and
see.
because we're not meeting until mid-September, we
Right.
wanted just
Got it. You reviewed it. I see.
oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good. I'm on board. Thank you.
Okay. Oh. Hold on. All right, we'll vote on this. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, nothing opposed. Motion carries. Hold on, let's,
Alternate, we did that BE subcommittee. Just mention them.
just in each one that we did.
Yeah, just because they're gonna be incorporated in the. final
Oh, in the
plan.
final plans. Okay, all right. Hold on.
Chris can review them too.
Hold on. Too many stacks of paper. Here we go. Chris, can we pop back to one? Can you just list off or describe briefly the alternates that we discussed about
Right.
in our VE meeting?
Yes.
Oh, good.
So these are the alternates that we'll ask the general contractors to provide pricing on during their bid submission. Alternate one has been discussed previously. This is the inside face of the exterior walls. Currently, there are metal studs on the inside face of those exterior walls and sheetrock. Our base bid is to remove the metal studs and the sheetrock and provide new insulated walls. The deduct alternate would be to remove the sheetrock only, insulate in between the existing metal studs, and then provide a new finish sheetrock over top of those existing studs.
Excuse me 1 minute. Do we have this?
No,
No,
Okay,
no.
this was, so the VE subcommittee met just before this
Yeah.
as,
Right.
just because knowing what the site work came in at, we wanted to see if there were additional alternates that we could try to make the most cost-effective bid. So the VE subcommittee is recommending these to be incorporated into the final plans.
okay.
Alternate two, we discussed changing this to a deduct, meaning the base bid will be a new generator for the 1928 building, but the deduct alternate will be to relocate the existing generator that is currently on site.
So they would actually be costs
That's what I mean.
for us.
Yeah, so
I-
the new generators will be part of the base documents. And there'll
Right.
be a deduct.
So yeah, and I should have explained that as a deduct. The base bid is what we're asking is all of our drawings and what we're asking the general contractors to provide a lump sum cost for. As a deduct alternate, for each of these items, they will tell you what the cost savings are if we were to switch to the alternative that we're providing. So in this case, the base bid is a new generator. The alternative that would save dollars is to relocate the existing generator. Number 3, the base bid is to maintain stone cladding at our new entryway. So this is the lobby vestibule addition. We have a corner tower element where the new entry doors are, and that's a stone exterior facade around those doors. And we discussed as a deduct alternate to get pricing to change the stone to a EFIS system, which is a stucco type finish, a cement stucco type finish. So it's less costly, but it doesn't have the same aesthetic that you approved in our 3D renderings, and that would match the stone on the existing building. However, there are stucco elements on the existing building. That entire lower floor that wraps around below the brick,
Yeah,
that's all stucco material.
Yeah.
so that'll kind of blend in to,
Yeah.
It would look the same in appearance, but there's glass. So there's glass separating the new stucco from the old stucco in every instance.
okay. It's interesting.
Alternate 4 involves the high windows in the multi-purpose room. So on the west side of the multi-purpose room, which is our new entry area, we have 4 high windows that are going to be in the base bid no matter what. On the opposite side, we're showing 3 new windows, but they're more complex to install because during, I believe it was the 50s or 60s renovation, they ran all new brick veneer over the old brick veneer. So you actually have an extra wide wall there that never had window openings previously. So to provide these new window openings is much more invasive on the east side than on the west side. And so we're recommending those east side windows, which are more complex to install, those be a deduct alternate to not install any windows on that side. And we would still have natural light coming in from the west side.
Would that provide enough
Yes,
light?
yes. Lastly, I mean, we have enough artificial light in those spaces, even without the windows, but
Yeah,
it's certainly going to be nice to have some natural daylight and
sure.
it will be ample. They're 4 fairly large windows.
Okay,
And then number 5 was the lobby and vestibule security entryway flooring, which is currently porcelain floor tile as the base bid, and the deduct alternate would be good to go to luxury vinyl tile in lieu of the porcelain tile.
So these are just, we don't,
possibilities.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
If the bids come
Yeah.
in above the
Where we
budget, you have an option to select any or all of these to
we have-
lower that bid price.
We already have a list of.
Yeah,
deducts.
they're
Oh.
deducts, so
They're
they're
de-
included in the bid, and if needed, we can select these to bring down the total cost.
Right.
That last one, I'm just curious about the ability to keep it clean and nice looking.
Yes.
So are we cutting that short? By whatever.
It will
this
be
new
clean
thing
and
is?
nice looking, the longevity,
That's what I meant.
and durability.
Are we cutting over our nose to spite?
No,
No.
this is a fairly standard material that we'd see in lobbies, so it's
It was.
it's almost a
It
preference
was
of,
the least, it was the least gain by doing that too.
yeah, it's not a
Right.
huge delta. We estimate it could be $8,000 or $10,000 in savings if you were to go to LVT. And there were actually some concerns earlier about the slipping on the tile if it were to get wet, so the
Yeah.
LVT is actually a little bit better in terms of slip resistance over the tile as well. Something to consider.
I just want to think through, the main door. People are going in, these are the first things
It
people
will
will
look
see.
beautiful no matter what.
Okay.
You
All you
heard
had to
from the
say.
architect.
And then I'm
That
gonna
is-
spend a ton of money down the road trying to make it continue to look that way.
Yes.
Also, okay, thank you.
And this list, we'll put this in the value engineering minutes or in this meeting's minutes, the alternates, VE.
We'll put them in VE, but
VE.
we can also, because we reviewed it, we can put it in these
Okay.
minutes as well.
That'd be great to
good.
do that.
Thanks, Chris. Okay, I think that does it. All right, anything else from anyone?
I just have a couple of quick questions.
Go ahead.
Did you stop the, brick, at one point you were gonna cut off people ordering bricks? Has
Nope,
that
it's
happened?
still
Still
open
Okay.
and we have over 200 bricks ordered.
Wow. Is that in the newsletter? It was in the last.
It
one,
is in
wasn't
the newsletter that will
one too?
hit houses next week.
Okay,
yes.
that's what I was wondering. And can we just review our dates?
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
Please.
Let's get that
Me.
calendar. up.
Here's a calendar there. I want Gene to.
Sit in the
Yeah.
recliner
that.
during a meeting again.
It's in the backup for agenda item F1.
Here's
Okay.
how,
So you'll have a,
nope, wait a minute.
all right,
I
whenever.
saw it, but there it is.
All right, so we'll
Thank
just go
you,
to
Sarah.
August because we're basically there already. We hope to post the bid by the end of the week, maybe early next week, depending on finalizing everything. But for this committee, we have canceled the August meeting. So the August 13th meeting is canceled and the August 27th meeting is canceled. And that's because the bid will be out in the field and there's really no business that we need to attend to during that time. If you go to September 10th, we originally had a meeting scheduled, but we are canceling that. That's the same day as the bid opening, just because, like we said, we do need some time to vet those bids and make a recommendation for award. There's a meeting now scheduled for September 17th.
Mhm.
And at that meeting, we will make the award for the renovation bid. And then the September 24th meeting is canceled.
So nothing's changed from the
No.
calendar from, okay,
The big meeting will be on September 17th.
got it. And are you thinking that we should for the communications, where you talk about after,
I think
Yes.
probably October, we'll probably
Yeah.
start talking because we'll make the award, we'll have to kick things off, but I think there'll be some, an update that this contractor has been awarded, site work was
okay,
work is starting, here's an updated schedule, things like that.
I think that would be a good idea to just keep the town
Oh, yes,
involved.
absolutely.
Thank you. That's it for me.
Well, there's a lot going on starting Friday,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
It goes
there's a lot
out.
going on.
and then there'll be a lot of work going on behind the scenes, and then when the bids come in, there'll be kind of a sprint to get it ready for us for the 17th, September 17th.
That's fast.
Yeah.
Second.
Have you heard from any, or do you have any sense of how many people are gonna bid or not at this point?
We'll get a good sense at the pre-bid walkthrough of how
Yeah,
many
yeah.
contractors show up. I would imagine it will be mandatory like our site walkthrough was, so only contractors who are there on that day can bid on the project. We want them to be able to see the building. Especially in this renovation type environment, we're gonna walk through the space so they can understand what exists and better capture what they're bidding on. But we'll get a good sense there of what type of interest there is in the project. It's big enough, I think you'll get a lot of interest, if anything. It might be too big for some people based on workload or bonding capability, but based on the size, I think you'll get reputable contractors, which is a good thing.
I hope so. Good. All right, I need a motion for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.